Dear honorary doctors, distinguished guests, colleagues and friends of our university, it is a great joy and pleasure to welcome you all to the honorary doctorate ceremony at the University of Bergen. We are here to celebrate honoraries devoted to scholarships, service and creativity. 10 individuals that have made strong and profound impact. It is a true privilege for all of us to take part in recognizing extraordinary achievements through the conferment of an honorary doctorate. Over 2,000 years ago, the Roman philosopher and statesman Cicero used the agricultural metaphor cultura animi to describe the cultivation of the human mind and character. His idea was that just as the soil must be tended to bear fruit, so too must the human mind and character be shaped through learning, reflection, education. For Cicero, learning was never an isolated intellectual exercise. It was inseparably linked to responsibility, to society, and to the wider community. This insight remains strictly relevant. It reminds us that knowledge has value not only for what it produces, but also for what it shapes. It influences how we think, how we listen, how we encounter disagreement, and how we take responsibility in a world that is both complex and vulnerable during our times, at our times. It inspires us to go further. Our time is characterized by an abundance of information, by an often instrumental view of knowledge, and by ever-increasing demands for immediate utility. And AI always providing us with immediate answers to any question. For that very reason, it is particularly meaningful to honor something different, the cultivation of insight over time, true and brave creativity, generosity in sharing, and life's work that serves the common good. To confer an honorary doctorate is therefore not an act of courtesy, it is an act of judgment. It speaks to whom we choose to learn from and which contributions we believe deserve lasting recognition. At the University of Bergen, an honorary doctorate is a recognition from our entire academic community. It is an honor bestowed upon individuals outside our institutions whose work had advanced in the science or society as a whole. The selection process has, of course, not been arbitrary. Nominations are proposed at the department level, advanced at the faculties, and considered by faculty and university leadership before the university board makes the final decision. 2 of you have also been proposed directly from the rectorate. This means that you, our 10 new honorary doctors, have been highly recognized at every academic level within our university. Through your work, you have made significant contributions to your respective fields. In different ways, you have strengthened our understanding of the importance of research, service to society, arts, and philanthropy. Today's ceremony is therefore also an expression of gratitude. Gratitude for what you have achieved, and not least for the wider impact of your work. You have helped shape the intellectual landscape in which others will now grow, and by such measures, each of you stand in a class of your own. By awarding honorary doctorates, the University of Bergen enters in a substantial relationship with each of you. We do so with both humility and gratitude. Humility in the presence of excellence that challenges and inspires us, and gratitude in associating our institution with your work and your values. What you honorary doctors share is that you have made valuable contributions not only to academia, but to all those who seek new perspectives in understanding ourselves, the world around us, and in the societies in which we live. Our new honorary doctors are Professor Richard Sennett, for his contribution to the understanding of themes such as social inequality, public life, knowledge and craftsmanship, work, employment, and urban life. Aud Jepsen, who through the Christian Gerhard Jepsen Foundation has demonstrated tireless commitment to research in Norway, particularly in supporting the advancement of young researchers. Author Karl Ove Knausgård, for his groundbreaking contribution to literature. His work represents a blending of everyday contemporary individual lives with universal themes of identity, memory, and mythology. He is also an exemplary writer of non-fiction, including essays with strong academic value. Professor Henrik Palmer Olsen, for his scholarly work on questions in legal philosophy, particularly in relation to artificial intelligence. Professor Darren Fogg, a world leader in the development of tools, insights, and processes for the sustainable production of molecules and materials that underpin modern technology. Professor Anna Louise Gloyn, for her extensive world-leading research on diabetes, with decisive impact on diagnosis and treatment. Dr. Yama Jabr, who has combined her medical expertise and activism and brought attention to the mental health consequences of occupation, colonial violence, and war, especially for victims of torture and trauma in the Palestinian context. Professor Luciano Floridi, whose interdisciplinary research has produced groundbreaking and internationally recognized contributions to information ethics and the philosophy of technology, reshaping our understanding of the digital society, artificial intelligence, and big data. Professor Tia Denora, who, through her interdisciplinary approach, has demonstrated how music and the arts are fundamental to the health and well-being of individuals and societies. Dr. Paul Smith, who, through his work with Botanic Gardens Conservation International and the Millennium Seed Bank, has been a key driving force in the global protection of biodiversity and plant conservation. On behalf of the University of Bergen, I couldn't be more proud And I would like to express our deep gratitude for your contributions and our pride in counting you among our most distinguished associates. We greatly appreciate what you all have done to advance science, arts, and humanity. Congratulations to all our honorary doctors.
Dear honorary doctors, dear colleagues and friends, my name is Sigrun Eliassen and I'm the Deputy Rector at University of Bergen. It is both a privilege and a great pleasure for me to guide you through today's honorary degree award ceremony. Let me begin by thanking Rector for a thoughtful and inspiring address. I would also like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to the musicians who are contributing so beautifully to this occasion. We heard the procession fanfare performed by students from the Grieg Academy that is part of the Faculty of Fine Art, Music and Design. Next, I would like to warmly thank soprano Helle Tyssekvam and pianist Maria Heddan Kortner also from the Grieg Academy, for their moving interpretation of Edvard Grieg's Ved Rondane. With these beautiful tones setting the atmosphere, we will now proceed with the honorary degree award ceremony. And I would like to invite Vice Rector Kjell Morten Myhr to take the podium, please.
The University Board have decided to confer an honorary doctorate upon Aud Jepsen. It's therefore a great pleasure and honor to present Aud Jepsen, who today is being awarded the degree of honorary doctor at the University of Bergen. May I kindly invite Aud Jepsen to approach the podium. Aud Jepsen is the widow of the late ship owner Christian Gerhard Jepsen, who founded the Christian Gerhard Jepsen Shipping in 1967. Through visionary leadership and exceptional dedication, he built the company into a world-leading enterprise within its field. Following his passing, Aud Jepsen took the initiative in 2009 to establish the Christian Gerhard Jepsen Foundation together with her 3 sons to honor his legacy. The foundation supports medical, marine and maritime research, as well as cultural initiatives and projects at broad public benefit. The foundation has become one of Norway's most significant private contributors to research. To date, it has funded more than 30 research centers at the University of Bergen and other leading Norwegian universities. The foundation has until now allocated close to 1 billion Norwegian kroner to research and public interest initiative, meaning about 100 million euro. The University of Bergen is a major beneficiary of the foundation's engagement. Our university has received the support for 10 research centers within medicine and deep sea research. Beyond the financial contribution, the foundation's support has reinforced research environment, enabled the recruitment and development of talented researchers, and positioned these centers to attract substantial additional national and international competitive funding. But most importantly, the research supported by the contributions has led to significant advances that have improved diagnosis of treatment with tangible benefits for patients and the society at large. Through her visionary leadership and long-term commitment to research and society, Aud Jepsen has made an exceptional contribution to Norwegian and international science. The University of Bergen therefore consider her highly deserving the degree of honorary doctor. Aud Jepsen, it's therefore with deep respect and great pleasure that we honor you for your outstanding contribution to science and society. We are truly grateful that you have agreed to accept the symbol of our recognition and appreciation. I now invite the rector and the university director to present you with the doctoral diploma and the ring.
Honored guests, Rector. The University Board has decided to confer an honorary doctorate upon the following person, Richard Sennett. Unfortunately, Professor Sennett is not able to participate in the ceremony here today. Richard Sennett is among the world's most renowned scholars in the social sciences and humanities. Over nearly 6 decades, he has contributed to our understanding of city life, social class, public discourse, play, craftsmanship, new forms of employment, and the changing social conditions of modern life. He was educated at the University of Chicago and Harvard University, but his principal academic homes have been New York University and the London School of Economics. He has also taught at Harvard, MIT, Cambridge, and numerous other universities worldwide. Through an extensive and influential career, Professor Sennett has explored how social spaces and institutions can either foster or constrain human capacities. A central theme in his work is how people develop skills over time, embedded in social relationships. He's shown how short-term central planning and new forms of capitalism can undermine the development of open cities, as well as the value of skilled work. Professor Sennett has repeatedly identified tendencies that have later become widely apparent in public life. Many of his insights have proven far ahead of their time. Sennett is distinguished not only by the content and impact of his contributions, but also by his style of writing. He can, elegantly, bring the voices of ordinary contemporary people into dialogue with great thinkers of centuries past. His writing combines theoretical depth with an exceptional ability to communicate beyond academia, inspiring architects, teachers, policymakers, artists, and practitioners worldwide. Professor Sennett has also worked with the United Nations over several decades as a consultant on urban planning. In addition, he has been directly involved in countless smaller-scale community planning projects around the world. As a true public intellectual, Richard Sennett has devoted his life's work to the fundamental questions of how people live together and develop social and practical skills together. He's shown both how we are shaped by the spaces we inhabit and also how we can actively shape these spaces to the better. His enduring contributions are central for understanding contemporary society and are a vital resource for facing the challenges of the future. It is with deep respect and great pleasure that we honor Richard Sennett for his outstanding contributions. We are truly grateful that he has agreed to accept this token of our recognition and appreciation.
Honored guests, Rector. The University Board has decided to confer an honorary doctorate upon the following person, Tia de Nora. It is a great pleasure and an honor to present Tia de Nora, who today is being conferred the degree of honorary doctor at the University of Bergen, Faculty of Fine Arts, Music and Design. Would Professor Tia de Nora please approach the podium? Tia de Nora is a professor of sociology. She received her PhD in 1989 at the University of California, after undergraduating studies in music and sociology. She is currently a professor at the University of Exeter. She is also a fellow of the British Academy and a fellow of the Yale Center of Cultural Sociology. Throughout her career, she has particularly distinguished herself through her essential impact on the global field of music and cultural sociology. Her work shows how music shapes social life, well-being, identity, and action in real time. And her practice-transforming approach to understanding music in everyday life, especially in contexts of health and care. This work has contributed to a focus on the concept of music as a technology of the self, and a micro-sociological analysis on musical experience have opened new ways of understanding care and everyday creativity. Professor Tia de Nora represents the values we seek to promote, such as creativity and social responsibility. Her work exemplifies independent, critical inquiry and challenges assumptions about culture, agency, and welfare. By awarding Professor Tia de Nora the degree of honorary doctor, the University of Bergen wishes to recognize her influence on policy discussions around arts-based well-being. Her pioneering contributions through ethnographic research, demonstrating how music supports identity and relationality in hospices, dementia care, palliative care, and other sensitive environments. Her collaborations with musicians and ensembles, her inputs to improvisational practice, and her role in advancing new forms of artistic engagement grounded in lived experience, care, and social connection. Professor Tia de Nora, it is with deep respect and great pleasure that we honor you for your outstanding contributions. We are truly grateful that you have agreed to accept this token of our recognition and appreciation. I now invite the Rector and the University Director to present you with your doctoral diploma and ring.
We were told we had an opportunity to speak for less than 60 seconds. And I would simply like to say, apart from thank you very much for this tremendous honor, which is so special coming from the University of Bergen, that I want to acknowledge my very dear colleagues within the Greek Academy and in particular within GAMUT, from whom I have learned tremendously. So thank you very much.
Honored guests, Rector. The University Board has decided to confer a honorary director upon Professor Henrik Palmer-Olsen. It is a great pleasure and honor to present Professor Henrik Palmer-Olsen, who today is being conferred the degree of honorary doctor at the University of Bergen, Faculty of Law. Professor Henrik Palmer-Olsen, would you please approach the podium? Henrik Palmer-Olsen is an internationally respected legal scholar whose work has helped shape contemporary legal research and thinking. Palmer-Olsen is a professor at the Faculty of Law at the University of Copenhagen. His research spans central areas of legal scholarship, including legal methodology, legal philosophy, human rights, and international courts. Across these fields, he has addressed the fundamental questions that define and challenge modern law. He has had a strong influence on how legal research is conducted and evaluated. He has also been a pioneer in exploring the role of artificial intelligence in law. His work shows both the promise and the tension in this field. His research demonstrates how artificial intelligence can open new possibilities for more effective legal decision-making, while at the same time challenging the legitimacy of the law itself. In addition to his academic work, Professor Palmer-Olsen has taken on major leadership roles. He has served as Vice Dean for Research and as the head of the PhD program. He has also been building strong research environments, including the renowned I-Court Center in Copenhagen. Professor Palmer-Olsen has had a clear and lasting impact on legal scholarship. His work has strengthened both research quality and academic collaboration. He led the Norwegian Research Council's evaluation of Norwegian legal research. The work provided a foundation for improving the discipline and lifting its ambition in Norway and outside. He is also known for his commitment to younger scholars. He has shown a strong commitment to research training and contributes to building strong and open academic communities. Professor Palmer-Olsen represents the values that are important to us. He stands for academic integrity, curiosity, and innovation. He combines this with a strong sense of responsibility for the strengthening of others and of the future of the discipline. He has had a long and close relationship with the Faculty of Law in Bergen. This collaboration goes back to the early 2000s. Since 2022, he has served as Professor 2. Here he has contributed to the development of the PhD program, to research initiatives, and to mentorship. Those who have worked with him also recognize something more. He has a modest and generous presence. At the same time, he has a strong academic integrity and a clear and principled voice. He asks demanding questions, and he contributes to lifting the quality of discussions and decisions. By awarding Professor Henrik Palmer-Olsen the degree of honorary doctor, the University of Bergen wishes to recognize his outstanding scholarly achievements, his contribution to the development of legal research, and his strong engagement with our academic community. Professor Palmer-Olsen, it is with deep respect and great pleasure that we honor you for your outstanding contribution to legal scholarship. We are truly grateful that you have agreed to accept this recognition. I now invite the Rector and University Director to present you with your doctoral diploma and ring.
Thank you so much to the University of Bergen and the Faculty of Law for bestowing on me this amazing honor. Thank you so much. I just want to say that the Faculty of Law here at the University of Bergen is a little bit like a second home to me. As you mentioned, I've been coming here for many years, and colleagues at the faculty is a little bit like a second family as well. So I would like to reach out and thank very much not only the present but also the former deanship at the faculty, and also to my amazing colleagues in the L'Explain team. Thank you for your very thoughtful contributions and always very good spirit and intellectual endeavors. So thank you so much.
Dear honored guests, University Director and Rector. Upon the recommendation of the Faculty of Humanities, the University Board has decided to confer an honorary doctorate upon Karl Ove Knausgård. I now kindly ask Knausgård to please approach the podium. Out of This World. That was the title of Knausgård's first novel, but it also describes the quality of his authorship. Literary critics have compared him to authors such as Leo Tolstoy, Walter Benjamin, and Marcel Proust. Knausgård, we are told, is the most famous Norwegian author since Henrik Ibsen. Such parallels, albeit flattering, are not needed. Knausgård has established his own unique signature as a thinker, as an artist, and as a poet. This signature is art in a literary form, because it is an art to unveil what it means to be human through paying attention to details. And it is an art to ignore outside noise and to surrender completely to the process of writing. And it is an art to transform humiliation into revelation and shame into literary success. Success can be multifaceted. The sociologist Pierre Bourdieu argued that cultural production is the economic world reversed, where success is viewed with suspicion. Yet, no one appears to have viewed the success with more suspicion or self-doubt than the author himself. Knausgård's journey to become an author started here in Bergen, where he studied comparative literature and art history. And now he has ensured that both the University of Bergen and the Academy of Creative Writing themselves have become part of the literary canon, as has several of his fellow students and teachers. Through your books, they have become literary sites and characters in their own right. Knausgård's work speaks powerfully to our own time, while also addressing enduring human questions. Through his books, we are reminded that literature and the arts are not luxuries, but necessities, ways of understanding ourselves, one another, and the world around us. Dear Karl Ove, we are immensely proud of our shared history. However, today, we're not here as your professors or fellow students, but as your avid readers and admirers. We could not have been more delighted or honored that you have agreed to accept this token of our recognition and appreciation of your work. There is a time for everything. I now ask the Rector and the University Director to present you with your doctoral diploma and ring.
Tusen takk. Thank you very much. I have often got the question what it means to me to get this honor. And I got only 1 minute. But I will say I studied here in the 90s. I studied literature, I studied art. And coming back here now, I can see it, what it was, how important it was for me. how important it was to me to study here in Bergen. And I told my editor about this ceremony, that I will get a cape and a ring. And he said, I hope they give you a wand, tryllestav. But, you know, the wand is the university. It got transformative powers. The wand is literature. It got transformative powers. The wand is knowledge. Got transformative powers. That's where the magic is. And that's what makes me so happy to be a part of. Thank you very much.
Honored guests, Rector, it is a great pleasure and honor to present Dr. Sama Jaber, who today is being conferred with the degree of Honorary Doctor at the University of Bergen, the Faculty of Psychology. Would Dr. Sama Jaber please approach the podium? Dr. Sama Jaber is a highly respected Palestinian consultant psychiatrist, psychotherapist, and writer, known for her long-standing commitment to the Palestinian community and to global mental health. She serves as Associate Professor of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences at George Washington University and has held senior roles within the United Nations Office of Drug and Crime, Save the Children, and Doctors Without Borders. She also contributes to the World Health Organization Mental Health Gap Action Program. Throughout an extensive and influential career, she has distinguished herself through pioneering work on how structural and political violence shape mental health, both individually and collectively, with particular attention to the Palestinian experience. Through her focus on trauma-informed care and resilience in conflict zones, she has challenged dominant approaches with global mental health and advanced a more context-sensitive and decolonial understanding of psychological suffering under occupation. By doing so, she has helped shape approaches that are not only scientifically rigorous, but also ethically grounded and socially responsible, influencing both scholarship and clinical practice internationally. Dr. Jaber represents values of profound importance in today's world: academic freedom, human dignity, integrity, and a steadfast commitment to justice and humanity. At a time marked by conflict, division, and uncertainty, her work reminds us that mental health can never be separated from the social and political realities in which people live. The University of Bergen wishes to recognize her outstanding contributions and societal impact in advancing a justice-oriented and contextually grounded understanding of mental health in situations of conflict, occupation, and structural violence. Dr. Sama Jaber, it is with deep respect and great pleasure that we honor you for your outstanding contributions to illuminating the psychological consequences of oppression, occupation, and violence. We are truly grateful that you have accepted this distinction as a symbol of our recognition and appreciation. I now invite the Rector and the University Director to present you with your doctoral diploma and ring.
I would like to thank the University of Bergen for conferring this honorary doctorate on me. And I would like to express my gratitude for the Norwegian colleagues who brought attention to my work and nominated me. And as I receive this honorary doctorate, not as a personal achievement only, but also as a recognition and affirmation for the moral courage and the ethical commitment of my colleagues in Palestine who continue to work and serve the population and bear witness under impossible conditions. So thank you very much.
Honored guests, Rector. Upon the recommendation of the Faculty of Social Sciences, the University Board has decided to confer an honorary doctorate upon Professor Luciano Floridi. I invite Professor Floridi to please approach the podium. Luciano Floridi is one of the world's leading thinkers in digital ethics and the societal implications of technology. His work provides both theoretical and normative frameworks for addressing some of the most pressing challenges of our time: disinformation, algorithmic bias, privacy, and digital responsibility. He was educated at the University of Rome, La Sapienza, where he graduated in philosophy in 1988. After holding positions at leading institutions, including the University of Warwick, University of Hertfordshire, and the University of Oxford, Floridi now serves as John Castle Professor in the practice of cognitive science and is the funding director of the Digital Ethics Center, both at Yale University. His groundbreaking research have had a lasting impact on both science and society. Professor Floridi has made foundational contributions to information and digital ethics, as well as to the philosophy of information and the philosophy of technology. Through the development of key concepts such as the infosphere and the fourth revolution, he has fundamentally shaped how we understand the digital society, artificial intelligence, and big data. Luciano Floridi has been a central and influential advocate for responsible technological development and for ethical reflections in our increasingly digital world. His work has significantly shaped interdisciplinary research and education across philosophy, computer science, the social science, and law. Beyond academia, Professor Floridi actively contributes to policymaking and public debate on the role of technology in society and has worked on digital ethics with the European Commission, the German Ethics Council, and key UK institutions, as well as with multinational corporations, fostering collaboration between academia, industry, and government at national and international level. For the Faculty of Social Sciences, it is a particular honor to recognize a scholar whose work so inspirationally bridges philosophy, technology, and the societal challenges that define all fields. He represents the core values the University of Bergen seeks to promote: integrity, intellectual leadership, and a profound sense of social responsibility. Professor Floridi, it is with deep respect and great honor that we honor you for your pioneering contributions to information ethics and the philosophy of technology, which have shaped international research and public debates. I now invite the Rector and the University Director to present you with your doctoral diploma and ring.
Thank you. It's already humbling when you receive such a an extraordinary recognition. Coming from an extraordinary university is double humbling, and there's a third humbling, which is the people who came before and after me. So with this humbling, the only thing I can do is to promise not to embarrass the university in the future with this new student of yours, and to do my utmost to live up to the trust that you have had in me. Thank you so much. I hope you didn't make a mistake. Thank you.
Honored guests, Rector, the University Board has decided to confer an honorary doctorate upon Paul Smith. It is a great pleasure and honor to present Dr. Paul Smith, who today is being conferred the degree of honorary doctor at the University of Bergen, the University Museum. Would Dr. Paul Smith please approach the podium? Dr. Paul Smith is a plant ecologist and specialist in the plants and vegetation of southern Africa, and has for many years worked at the forefront of global efforts to address the world's ongoing biodiversity crisis. He received his education from University of Kent, UK. Smith's work addresses one of the defining challenges of our time. Plants are essential for all life on Earth. Yet, 1/5 of all plant species are threatened with extinction. For 9 years, he led the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew's Millennium Seed Bank project, described by Sir David Attenborough as perhaps the most significant conservation initiative ever. Today, it preserves seeds of more than 40,000 plant species through collaboration with partners in nearly 100 countries and territories. Since 2015, he has led Botanic Gardens Conservation International, the world's largest network for plant conservation, representing botanic gardens all over the world, including members in Norway. Among his major achievements has been the development of the Global Tree Assessment. This builds directly on work led by Paul Smith at Botanic Gardens Conservation International for rapid threat assessment of the world's 60,000 species of trees. He has contributed to influential papers on conservation policy and botanic gardens, and established initiatives such as the Global Conservation Consortia, aimed at preventing species extinctions. Dr. Paul Smith represents the values we seek to promote: integrity, creativity, and societal responsibility. By awarding Paul Smith the degree of honorary doctor, the University of Bergen wishes to recognize the scientific and societal impact of his efforts to unite botanic gardens worldwide in preventing species extinction. Paul Smith, it is with deep respect and great pleasure that we honor you for your outstanding contributions to global plant conservation. We are truly grateful that you have agreed to accept this token of our recognition and appreciation. I now invite the Rector and the University Director to present you with your doctoral diploma and ring.
Thank you so much, Kari, and to the University of Bergen, this wonderful museum, and your botanic gardens. I'm so very grateful. I'd also like to pay tribute to the world's botanic gardens, which are so much more than just the place to go with your family for a picnic. They are centers of science, knowledge, conservation, education, all of those things. And in many cases, they are the last refuge and hope for the many thousands of threatened plant species out there. So I'd just really like to acknowledge my colleagues around the world who usually unrecognized work in such an important sphere. Thank you.
Honored guests, Rector, the University Board has decided to confer an honorary doctorate upon the following person, Professor Darren Fogg. It is a great pleasure and also an honor for me to present Professor Fogg, who today is being conferred the degree of Honorary Doctor at the University of Bergen, Faculty of Science and Technology. Would Professor Darren Fogg please approach the podium? Professor Darren Fogg is a professor at the Faculty of Science at the University of Ottawa in Canada. And she is also adjunct professor here at the Department of Chemistry at the University of Bergen, and underlining an important connection between two excellent scientific communities within our two institutions. Professor Fogg is awarded the honorary doctorate for her major contribution in organometallic chemistry and catalysis, and for her outstanding role also as a science communicator. Professor Fogg holds a PhD from the University of British Columbia in Canada and went on to MIT for her postdoctoral and returned to the University of Ottawa, where she took up an assistant professorship in '97 and rose the ranks up to full professor in 2007. Through an extensive and very influential career, she has particularly distinguished herself through research in organometallic chemistry and catalysis, focusing on design and discovery of highly active, robust, and selective catalysts for application ranging from pharmaceutical synthesis to tissue engineering. A particular focus is on important problems in the rapidly evolving area of olefin metathesis, essential on the path towards cleaner and more sustainable chemistry. A recent area which has triggered much industrial and academic interest centers on the development of MALDI mass spectrometry, where her innovations have expanded what MALDI can do and opened new possibilities for understanding very complex catalytic systems. So Fogg's work bridges fundamental organometallic chemistry with actual applications for pharmaceuticals, for material science, and also for green chemistry. Professor Fogg's standing in the scientific community is also reflected in a range of international positions, and including serving on various editorial boards. But I would like to underline that in addition to being a distinguished researcher, she has a strong commitment to public science communication and national science policy. Of particular importance is her unusually long 9-year tenure as the chair of a breakfast seminar series designed to connect Canada's top researchers with members of Parliament and federal decision makers, updating them on groundbreaking research. And through this work, Darren Fogg has established knowledge-based policy development in Canada. Professor Fogg is also a role model for gender equality in science. She has actively used her role as to promote chemistry conducted by female scientists, and she has served as the chair of Canada's flagship federal initiative of Women in STEM. So for us, Professor Darren Fogg represents the values that we seek to promote, including creative science, including academic freedom, and including integrity. By awarding Professor Darren Fogg the degree of Honorary Doctor, the University of Bergen wishes to recognize her as a leading scientist in the development of catalysts, insights, and processes for the sustainable formation of molecules and materials that enable the technology and standards of living in our time. She is also an outstanding mentor and inspiring role model for young researchers, and has distinguished herself as a prominent ambassador for science and making science accessible for politicians and policymakers. Professor Darren Fogg, it is with deep respect and great pleasure that we honor you for your outstanding contributions to the field of chemistry. It is an honor for us to welcome you, and we are pleased that you have accepted this token of our recognition and appreciation of the work you've done. I now invite the Rector and the University Director to present you with your doctoral diploma and the ring.
Well, I thank you for this marvelous honor. This is a distinction which I shall cherish. And as a number of my predecessors have mentioned, scholarly work is never an individual endeavor. It is never an individual accomplishment. And so I acknowledge with gratitude the many students and colleagues from whom I have learned over the years, and my dear friends and colleagues here that have provided me with such a marvelous refuge for thought and the advancement of ideas over the period of our association, and I look forward to its continuation. I thank you all.
Honored guests, Rector. The University Board has decided to confer an honorary doctorate upon Professor Anna Louise Gloin at the Faculty of Medicine. As Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, it is a great pleasure and honor for me to present Professor Anna Louise Gloin on this occasion. Professor Gloin, would you please approach the podium? Professor Gloin is an internationally recognized researcher in human genetics and metabolism, and a pioneer in precision medicine for diabetes. She is also an excellent teacher, communicator, and academic leader, with strong commitment to supporting women in science. Professor Gloin is Professor of Pediatrics and Genetics at Stanford University School of Medicine in California. She has previously held leading positions at the University of Exeter and the University of Oxford. Through an extensive and influential research career, she has made pioneering discoveries about how genetic factors influence the development of diabetes and other metabolic diseases. A central aim of her work has been to use naturally occurring genetic mutations in humans to identify key biological pathways and gain a deeper understanding of fundamental physiological mechanisms. Her research has also contributed greatly to the development of precision medicine with direct importance for diagnosis and treatment. One particularly important breakthrough came when her research showed that mutations in the gene KCNJ11 can cause neonatal diabetes. This discovery made it possible for many patients to move from lifelong insulin injections to tablet treatment. And this was a groundbreaking example of precision medicine. Through an extensive and highly respected scientific authorship, Professor Gloyn has had a major influence on the field. She has also held key roles in international research consortia and expert groups in genetics, monogenic diabetes, and in approaches towards personalized diabetes care. Professor Gloyn represents values that the University of Bergen wishes to promote, such as academic excellence, integrity, international collaboration, and social responsibility. For many years, Professor Gloyn has had a close and growing collaboration with the Moon Research Center for Diabetes Precision in Medicine, or PRECISE-DIA, at the medical faculty at the University of Bergen. This collaboration is deeply appreciated and has greatly benefited the research environment at the Faculty of Medicine. By awarding Professor Gloyn the degree of honorary doctor, the University of Bergen wishes to recognize her outstanding scientific achievements, her pioneering contribution to diabetes research and care, her international academic leadership and influence, and her valuable collaboration with research communities at the University of Bergen. So, Professor Anna-Louise Gloyn, it is with deep respect and great pleasure that we honor you for your outstanding contributions to medical research and for improving the lives of people affected by diabetes across the world. We are truly grateful that you have agreed to accept this recognition and honor. I now invite the Rector and the University Director to present you with your doctoral diploma and ring.
Wow, this is such an honor. I was sitting next to Paul and he said, "You're going last, you can take as long as you like." And I said, "No, I bet they've got the music just like at the Oscars and they'll start playing it if I go over." I'd like to thank the university, the rector, I'd like to thank the Dean of Medicine, and most of all, I'd like to thank my amazing colleagues here at Bergen. We've had over 20 years of collaboration, and I hope it's just the start. Thank you for recognizing our collaborative science, and I can't wait to do more of it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much. We have now had the pleasure of yet another beautiful piece of music. Maurice Ravel's Pièce en forme d'habanera. And it was performed by cellist Ragnhild Sandnes and pianist Maria Heddan-Kotner from the Grieg Academy. It is now a great honor and pleasure for me to introduce Professor Tia de Nora. She will deliver a speech on behalf of our new honorary doctors. Professor de Nora, the floor is yours.
Rector, University Directorate, deans, faculty, advisors, department heads, colleagues, friends. Obviously, I've been asked to say a few words of acknowledgement on behalf of the 10 of us, the University of Bergen's newest honorary doctors. We know the honorary doctorate is the highest honor that the university can bestow, and we know the University of Bergen to be a world-leading research university with a very inspiring vision. And within that vision, the full range of disciplines is valued. And I'm sure that the 10 of us today have been greatly touched by the kind words that have been spoken by our Bergen colleagues. It's an honor to be in Bergen and to be here for this. It's also for me a great pleasure to be in Bergen. Over the years, I've enjoyed reading about Bergen and its history, and I've learned something about the history of the stockfish trade and the rise of the Hanseatic League and the emergence of national consciousness in the late 18th century. And more recently, in preparing for this, I discovered that Bergen was the first city in Europe to install an umbrella dispensing machine, which turned out not to be a completely qualified success for interesting reasons that I won't go into just now, but they had to do with the fact that most people were already prepared. And I think that everybody I know in Bergen seems to want to talk about the weather a lot, maybe even more than we do in the UK. And it's hard to know, but I don't think it's raining at the moment. But it hardly matters to Bergen what the weather is, because it's such a truly magnificent city. And I love it. There are many things I admire, and the first of those is the truly vibrant relationship between the university and members of the general public, the so-called in the UK town and gown. Something else that I think is so admirable here is the wide range of cultural opportunities, concerts, lectures, exhibits, festivals, needless to say. And of course, the truly magnificent physical environment, natural environment here, and the mix of what we now speak of as blue and green spaces. My colleagues know that I'm someone who loves to be in the fjord and swim with my head above water, you know, like so, with a bathing cap as well at times. And of course, we are surrounded here by mountains, and I don't see it at the moment, but we know that the tallest of those mountains, Ulriken, is just out there. And as I understand it, I may need to be corrected, the name Bergen translates in a roundabout way as the mountains or the mountain. I have hiked two of Bergen's mountains, Fløen and Runemannen, with colleagues here who led the way. And someday, I hope, if my knees hold up, I might get to the top of Ulriken. But if I do, I won't try to carry a musical instrument on my back the way supposedly Bishop Brun did in around 1790. But if you'll bear with me now, I'd like to consider the topic of mountains from a slightly different angle. A few years before Johan Nordal Brun wrote the famous poem Utsikker fra Ulriken, and apologies for my pronunciation, and before he reputedly played his sitar on Ulriken's top, there was someone else who was also thinking about mountains, and that was Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. And one of the things he said in his Italian Journey series of essays and letters was, quote, "To the eye, the mountains always remain immobile, and because they seem rigid, inactive, and at rest, we believe them to be dead." But he continued, the mountains weren't dead. They were not dead. Rather, they were interacting with the environment. And he suggested that they exhibited a kind of, or exerted a kind of oscillating force, though he conceded that it was difficult to observe that force or to prove that it existed. It was difficult to prove, he said, because the available scientific instruments were currently, quote, limited and crude. In other words, he believed that the agentic properties of mountains were real, but remained, and this is what gives all researchers hope, so far unknown. They could, he said, be imagined, and via imagination, their processes could be explored through, in his phrase, the eyes of the mind. For Goethe, who of course was a poet and a novelist as well, imagination could be sparked through encounters with the arts. For example, we know he was influenced by Shakespeare's rendering of existential conditions, complexity, liminality, the things that, as Horatio puts it in Hamlet, were wondrous strange. I stood there, Goethe said about his first encounter with Shakespeare, like a blind man given the gift of sight by some miraculous healing touch. I sensed my own existence multiplied in a prism. Everything was new to me, unfamiliar, and the light hurt my eyes. So, coming back to the question of how to observe mountains, if you bear with me, Goethe proposed that in the absence of advanced technologies, the living processes of mountains could be understood only obliquely through the ways that other, more observable things behaved in relation to them. He took, as an example, the formations of clouds. Clouds offered information about, as he put it, beautiful phrase, the elasticity of the air. And thus, clouds offered information about mountains and mountains' dynamic processes. Nowadays, confirmed by modern instruments, we know that mountains change over time and in relation to the environment. They change over geological time, but they also change quite rapidly, for example, in avalanche conditions. And we know that mountains exhibit seismic oscillations, apparently each mountain in different unique ways. And that mountains exhibit tectonics and hydration effects, and we know that mountains affect the weather. Who knows better about that than people from Bergen? Which takes me back to Bergen and to this ceremony and to the importance of universities and the great need for imaginative research in today's world. Because today our world is full of uncertainty and insecurity. There are threats to the Earth's ecosystems. There's failed communication, mis- and disinformation. There's mistrust, poverty, hunger, displacement, hostility, homelessness, disease, discrimination, and war. And these are, metaphorically, our mountains, our global challenges, to find ways around them, over them, to affect changes in them, inevitably calls for multiple perspectives and carefully prepared research pathways. And we 10 honorary doctors are a diverse group. We represent the gamut of disciplines associated with UIB's science and social science and humanities and arts faculties. And for me, the word gamut resonates because it also happens to be the acronym of the interdisciplinary center here that I'm closely associated with, the Grieg Academy Music Therapy Research Center. I work there alongside music therapists in ways that are inspired by what Goethe called his gentle empiricism. We observe how problems such as pain, distress, cognitive impairment, or the memory of trauma can be sometimes alleviated and sometimes transcended through shared musical engagement and through musically mediated experience. And as I see it, gamut is a case in point of how the University of Bergen understands that ripple effects can happen when diverse perspectives bring imagination to bear on shared problems. We absolutely need universities in these increasingly complex, socially and environmentally entangled and turbulent times. And of course, that's why we are here today. So I would like to extend, on behalf of all of us, your new honorary doctors, my heartfelt thanks to the University of Bergen. Thank you for your support of scientific and humanistic understanding. And thank you, of course, for this very important honor that you have bestowed upon each of us today.
Thank you so much, Professor De Nora, for taking us up and giving us the view from the mountains, and for your insightful and engaging address. And to all of our new honorary doctors, we are deeply grateful that you have accepted this distinction, and we offer you our warmest congratulations. This ceremony is now drawn to a close. Following the academic procession, you are all warmly invited to a reception at Christie's Café. Thank you all for joining us today.